All right, we are live. Welcome everyone. It's Monday evening, and we are working with invocation of presence. Uh, Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Oh wow, what a jump!
Boom. There it is.
Mm.
Guys,
Oh, I'm
I
sorry. I opened the wrong book. We are where is
What was this book that you just opened?
it was invocation of presence. We are working with practical work on self.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm a bit confused. We're not working with practical prac- practical world in the book.
yeah. Let me open.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you guys see it? Let me know if you
yeah.
guys can see it. Okay. So it seems like we are at chapter 19. Let me just go back to the previous chapter just so I make sure that uh, yeah. Okay.
We read this in class last time.
Yes.
Yeah, we did read it once. Do we want to do it again? Uh, I think Nishant wasn't there, Alka wasn't there, so maybe they will benefit.
Your call. You just
Uh,
make the decision.
yeah, let's do it.
Good.
Any of you guys wanna get us started, please?
I can start. So it's chapter in Spanish. Chapter 19, 19.
19. Sí.
Chapter 19 from Practical Work of Self. Walking between raindrops. Pure is mother to mood. Tempo of work is mother to organic and tempo. Self-initiated station is mother to death with presence. There is a song that talks about walking between. We can use this same idea, walking between the raindrops of our customary motor centrum postures, gestures, and facial to help us gain the will to awaken the machine. If we have studied the machine and are able to recognize our customary postures just before they are about to.
Even without will over the machine, we can suggest slight adjustments in the machine to avoid these habitual postures. If we can convince the machine that they make it look ugly, it is not necessary to look like a complete idiot to others just to perform this exercise. The variance between customary postures, gestures, and expressions, and those caught between raindrops alternates would be so subtle that they are completely invisible to a casual observer. We must consider the possible effect upon others when making this experiment. It is unlawful to work on ourselves at the expense of others. Pass.
View those postures which you have determined are customary for the machine as your enemies, into which you must not fall, even momentarily. Do anything necessary, even throw the machine off balance, to avoid sinking into these resting places. Jump, walk in a zigzag, dodge, and twist like a football player, as if walking between raindrops. If your attention is distracted, begin again. Habitual postures of the motor centrum can be present in the form of utterances, expressions of the facial mask, hand gestures, rolling of eyeballs, even word. Pass.
Every motor centrum habit of manifestation gives us a small warning signal in the sensing centrum when it is about to become active. We can easily become sensitive to these warning signals. This is not a very advanced exercise, and even a green beginner can do it fairly well. When this exercise is going well, add to it several mental and emotional postures of the machine. Pass.
Roll.
What is it, Nikhil? What are you looking for?
No, I was just reading the summary again.
So the very last paragraph, add to it several mental and emotional postures of the machine. How would you do that?
Well, I guess then, for example, last week we talked about how I went into this posture. So maybe I can find another posture and then just
But
keep
it's what
track
would
of.
be an emotional posture?
That's a difficult one.
Difficult. This is chapter 19. We're almost done. We should be experts by now.
Uh-oh.
Maybe changing the emotional state knowingly. Say I'm happy, but I try to look or just pretend or feel like what if I'm sad or something like that. Or if
Yeah.
I'm sad and positively, like, I'm trying to just be happy. And I think one more thing, right? If we change the physical posture, mental state changes definitely.
Yes.
So we can add that exercise, and I think that will be helpful for sure.
Yeah. Like if somebody says to you, boy, I really had a really good day today, and you can go, oh my God, that's too bad. You know? Or if somebody says something to you that is just really like immaterial, unimportant, in their day, like I got home on time last night. You can go, oh my God, that's incredible. That's fantastic. These are the concept is changing the mechanicality that you live by every day and feel these moments of freedom, right? Do you think that's even possible, Nikhil?
Yes, it is possible.
One thing I'll say, like in daily, right, when we commute, traffic is inevitable. And getting irritated when we are late, getting late or something, that time, if we can change that state, instead of what do we call like impatience or restlessness during that time, busy hours or the traffic, so we can change emotions, right? Instead of like usually
Yeah,
I have started doing like I play my favorite music, and no matter what traffic state is, I will just sing and then dance, taking my hands off the
dang and
steering.
dan
Yeah, I
wave to
have
the other
listened.
people.
Not sure if that fits into what it is talking about, but
Does it fit into it for you?
right, yeah. So
You know, it's something rather than being the normal thing is, oh my God, the traffic. And did you see that jerk pull in front of me? Complain, 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 right? But what if you celebrate the fact that there's traffic and celebrate the fact that you have 20 extra minutes to have fun? So that would be an example of changing your emotional posture in that regard.
I like your word, celebrate the traffic. That's nice.
Mhm.
David or Nishant, could we explore the first paragraph a bit? Very esoteric. I understand the posture is mother to mood. I understand the tempo of work is mother to organic and physic tempo. That is less um rational to me. And the last one, self-initiated voluntary manifestation is with presence. Wow, that's a lot of information to digest.
Yes.
Work a little on that paragraph.
Rajesh, didn't you ask the same question last week?
Yes.
What was the answer? What did the group start to discuss?
When we do self-initiative, that means we are not letting the machine do their own, but we are voluntarily bringing our consciousness to make all the centrum move, and that is a death to the machine's own
To the
healing.
machine,
Yeah, yes.
to the machine. It's not worded very well. I don't think that this is,
Yeah, I agree. It's a little hard to understand, but
yeah,
it's a
but
very
that's,
long, it's a deep meaning inside, but it's not easy
yeah,
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a deep meaning, but the meat of it is self-initiated voluntary manifestation. And so the only way I interpret it is death of the machine with presence.
Yes.
Okay.
It's,
It's like you're walking down the sidewalk, but then you decide to skip along the little path instead. You're suddenly no longer in mechanicality by definition. That's a moment of freedom.
yes. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
In the yoga system, they ask to not even move without your own will. Suppose if you are going and raising your hand to pick something like a pen, the hand shouldn't go. You have to decide that I want to move my hand to pick up the pen. Then only hand should go and pick up the pen. So it's a body is not making the
Yeah.
movements. You are making the movement.
Yeah. The Theravada Buddhists, down in, I think it's Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, those guys. So they would do the mindful meditation, right?
Right.
And there's two forms of it. One form is sitting mindful meditation, and there's a whole procedure. But some of those guys, those really hardcore guys, they do walking meditation where they go back and forth like 10 feet and back. And every movement, my leg is lifting, my leg is moving, my foot is setting. And just they focus on every manifestation of the physicality, which by definition blows out mechanicality, right?
Right.
So there's a famous, I think you're talking about that incident only that happened with Buddha, that he was blowing away one time, like he was sitting with his disciples in delivering some discourses, and then meanwhile, a fly came and sit on his shoulder, and then he mechanically first blew it off, and then he suddenly realized that he did it mechanically. Then he again went back, the same procedure he like repeated consciously. So somebody asked why you did twice, and then he explained because first time it was mechanical, so I'm correcting my move by
Yeah.
doing it consciously.
Okay, now there is a good exercise. That's very, very good. So let's say that I know none of us can remember any mechanical habit, physical movement that we have except for Nikhil, who goes like this. But what if he did? Now go back to the next page toward the bottom. It says the last second to last paragraph, every motor centrum habit of manifestation gives us a small warning signal in the sensing centrum when it's about to become active. That's true. Just before you start to do this, there's actually a notification, an energetic, right? Did you notice this?
Yes, throughout the week I have been noticing it.
Right. So as soon as the signal comes, you can do one of two things. One, do something different. Or two, use it to click you into hyper voluntary that. It's like, oh, look, my hand's coming up. Look how my neck muscles change. Wow. My whole head. My head weighs about 20 pounds. You make it conscious. And I think that's what Swati, the example that Swati was telling us, make it conscious.
I think I was thinking while you were saying that, David, a tip for this exercise is to say to oneself, not my hand, but the hand or the head is no
Yeah.
is trained as a machine, or not identifying too much with my I. I was thinking about that.
Sure. Like I adjust my glasses, or when I'm nervous, I adjust my glasses. But then if you actually watch yourself doing that, it's like a whole symphony. It's a ballet of movement, isn't it? You just, first of all, it's the anxiety that gets you going, and if you can actually watch that movement ease the anxiety of tension, that's really good too.
Very good example, yeah. And I have seen like the same along with the same line. For example, if you are talking and you have a glass of water besides you, you are drinking that glass of water, even though you are not thirsty, you are just drinking one or two sips.
Yeah. So we have a lot of mechanical habits. For instance, if you're sitting there let's say you're in a meeting, and let's say that you're sitting in your chair and you cross your legs, okay? And you're listening, but then your foot is going like this. You know what I mean? Have you ever, you've seen people do that, right?
Right.
Yeah, their foot becomes a little jumpy.
Yes.
Nervous energy.
That's the whole point, Nikhil. So you got it. You got it. It's nervous energy, and the machine is trying to take care of us, right? It's trying to say, oh, here, just go like this. It'll take care of some of that nervous energy, or even while you're talking, that'll help a little bit, or move your foot.
I'm just
Like the
noticing that
cigarette.
sometimes I play with my pen. If I have pen, I'll just do something like,
Yeah, I mean, it's like when I'm talking, I like to play with my fan. It's just like, where the bloody hell is your attention if you're doing this while you're talking to somebody, right?
Yeah.
And because this is a complicated exercise, if you really watch it, it's like really complex, isn't it? Like if you're in a meeting, uh, and let's say you're in a meeting and you have your cell phone, right?
Mhm.
And it's sitting there on your desk, and you're talking to the person, and then your whole head goes, ugh. You got to look at your phone, right? Same thing.
How can we use, it's a silly question, but I think if I'm just trying to understand if I can make use of something that is happening around me, how can we use, or is it possible at all to use somebody else's mechanical movements? Because I have two guys sitting like, on both of my sides, and sometimes both starts wiggling their legs and it runs so fast, and for hours they like kind of like shake my chair. I feel like, I'm just trembling. So I'm just wondering, sometimes it's very irritating for me because it runs more than an hour sometimes, and both sides, like, they are just boom, 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 boom. So
First of all, just you need to know local law. It's illegal to punch them out. You, it just, I know, I mean, everybody would be in favor of it, but it's probably illegal or to hit him with a bat or something like that. So that's a difficult question. There are two parts to it. Sometimes you have to like regain your space. You know what I mean? Like I was working with somebody who was an accountant. This was a client of mine a few years ago. And we're talking about complex, theory on how you do certain accounting things. And she's sitting there eating these nuts. I think it was like maybe sunflower seeds or pistachios. So she's sitting there talking, and then she put the seeds into the box, and I just told her, I said, "Can you stop that for a few minutes?" And she was, of course, 100% unaware of it as a mechanical habit, but she got it. So if I was sitting next to a guy and he was doing stuff and it was shaking my desk, I'd probably say something to the person. What's the guy's name?
One guy I know, but other guy is in the different team, so I don't know his name even. I just say hi. Yeah. It's Andy, the one guy who is in my team is Andy. Constant, I sometimes think like how mechanical we are and so sleepy, we even don't notice for hours like our mechanical movements.
You bet. You bet. So that's helpful to observe. The key is there a practical way of, and I'm not even going to say helping him because he's not asking you for help, is he? That's right, Bernie, fidgeting. He's not asking for help, but it's kind of like, what exactly does he do?
So one hand would be on his hair. He will constantly playing, making like round with his finger, and another like with another like opposite side of his leg will be constantly shaking, just shaking, either sitting or standing. It just shaking, and shakes so severely that it shakes my desk and the chair.
So he's sitting there playing with his hair like a nervousness, and then his leg is bouncing or something, right? Right?
Right. Or just wiggling, dun 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 dun, dun, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, okay, let's just ask the group. What are you going to do to save Swati over here? She's about to need
Ask him.
medical assistance.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to ask him, do you need any medical attention?
I'm sorry, Rajesh. What was
Ask
that?
him, do you need any medical attention or medical help? If not, then ask, hey, are you using vibrator?
He is my mentor and senior. He will
Yeah,
give
yeah,
me
yeah,
all
yeah,
You
yeah.
the
put any vibrator on your feet, why are you jumping?
And it does, I know. So we all have a thing about our superiors, right? That they are superior in every single way. I guarantee you that is not the case. Now, any other suggestions?
Just ask politely. It's disturbing me. I would say just ask politely. If it is absolutely necessary for you to carry out this action,
So,
Yeah.
what
so I
we
would,
can do.
so I would ask, how often does this happen with you, Swati? Like once a
Every
week?
day. Every day.
Every day.
every day, and
Then you should
it runs hours and hours.
then you should just let that person know, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. And then it's up to that person to make a decision whether to change.
Politely and
One
assertively ask him if he can make any improvement.
a way could be to do the same that he does in an exact, so he can see how troublesome
I think, Bernie, I thought on that aspect, but I believe if they are so much asleep, I don't think even they will notice that. We notice and get irritated because we have that some consciousness that something is happening around us. I think like that way.
Hmm.
Yeah, plus it's not in her nature to do that. It's not in her nature to fidget like that with her leg.
Hmm.
So this is a great, great opportunity for you. Okay. Now, we could look at this and say, well, this is just, people are stupid and, this is how it is. But this is a real life situation. How does a conscious Voyager deal with this situation? His manifestations are affecting your workspace.
Swati, carry a gun, maybe.
Good. You're good. Now you're thinking like me, Bernie.
Oh my God.
But she lives in Detroit and it's illegal to shoot somebody, okay? I think.
Okay,
You
can
gotta
I
look it
step
up.
in? Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
it's
Alka.
possible. People do like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's
So I relate to this very much, Swati, and I thought I thought I'd step in. What I do is I get up, take a few deep breaths, and take a small, quick walk around, drink some water, chant a mantra, and then come back and ignore them. So basically, when what David talks about owning the space over the years of going to office, I've realized is just be in your work zone and like just shut yourself in your work zone. That's it.
Okay.
And when you can't avoid, get up, take a walk, few deep breaths, and stretch. That's it.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's
I
a good
like the
idea.
gun idea. The gun idea is good.
No, I had to step in because what I was hearing was
She had to step in
Little
and
alarming.
save us from ourselves.
She's like, these men are going crazy. Let me try to save the day.
She's going, all my friends will be in jail.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
one possibility. Now, when does it start? Does it, I mean, first of all, this behavior in a person, this kind of fidgeting, is not uncommon. Okay.
Mhm.
It's not uncommon. This is how people deal with stress. His machine is helping him deal with stress. And, this is the kind of guy that would be, if he had a different carrier, he would be an alcoholic. He'd smoke dope all the time, but he isn't probably. And so we don't teach ourselves how do you deal with stress. And first of all, he doesn't even know he's doing it, does he?
yeah, that should be exactly the reason. He
Yeah,
doesn't
He
know.
that's the
doesn't,
point that they are not even aware
he
about
has
it.
no idea. So his machine is properly working for him, right?
Properly working.
At the expense of everybody else. Now, let me ask you this. When he sits down and you're sitting right next to him and you guys are working away, does it start immediately or does it start at a certain?
No, like when something that needs your attention, like kind of meetings and everything is over, and he's now into the mechanical part of working, that just manual stuff that is happening, and you don't need much of your brain. So the finger
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
on keyboard, leg goes on like just shaking, and then the other hand goes play around the hair.
yeah. Yeah, I like this guy. Okay. So I think I don't know. It's like um first of all, you can't blame, there has to be no blame. This is really hard stuff, okay? This is very difficult stuff. So one possibility is to say when it starts, and maybe it's been going on for like 1 minute, you could maybe look at his leg or something and say, "Hey, Andy, are you okay over there?" I mean, you know what I mean?
I know.
I know.
Mm.
We're used to just taking it, and then we think, "Oh gosh, I should adapt. I should just pray and be in meditation." Yeah, I understand that. And that's not bad. But in
And
this
you
case, go ahead.
relaxes the other people. Once you start to relax, the other people kind of sense that relaxation and
That may be. That's another possibility. Can you emanate patience and relaxation to such an extent that he gets it?
Mm.
Low probability there, Alka.
like
Low.
it's stress like infection. Like his anxiety seeps into me and I become anxious. It could be the other way around.
I think I felt that, Alka. Sometimes this fun part is, or the silly part is, last week, no, last week it happened that
Mm.
I all of a sudden my leg moved in that direction. Both the boys were doing that, and then just in a minute I'm like, wait, what I am doing with them? So yeah, you know, that was very funny when I
Did you
realized.
also start shaking your leg
Yeah,
as a counter reaction?
No, she became just like him.
yeah. Both
His
the side it was happening, right? And my body picked it up,
Mm.
but I realized just in less than a minute, and I'm like, what? So yeah, you're right.
his his emanation got to her.
Huh.
Like
But
whoever is an elimination that is, it needs to calm down.
well, uh, I mean, it could be like the question. I mean, this is not easy. I mean, this is hard stuff, but it'd be interesting to see if you have the skill to pull it off. I guess if I was sitting there, first of all, I guarantee you this would not be happening for very long. Okay. And as soon as it starts, after about a minute or so, I'd probably look at him and I'd say, "Andy, are you okay over there? What are you working on?" You know, or something like that to break. So he has a mental posture, he has a physical posture associated with his mental, he has a mental posture associated with his physical manifestation. And the question is, I don't know, can you break into that? I'm if I was there and I was sitting in your chair, I'd have I would have a sense of how to do it.
Mm.
But then there's the thing of superior, lower, higher, all of that's at play too. So you have to be kind, first of all. You could say something like, "Andy, everything going okay?" You can look at his leg and say, you can say, "Everything okay?" You know, and he go, "Oh, no, 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 I'm just nervous about this thing. Tell me a little bit about it." You know, I don't know. These are super complex situations. Humans are complex when they in interacting. It is like a whole other level, whole other level.
Mhm. I think I can try with the other guy who is not in my team to be
Okay.
to to be safe a little bit.
Or you could even say to Andy, he said, look at this guy bounces his leg all the time. And you say, should I say something to him?
Hmm.
To Andy. Like when you guys do you take a break to get do you go out and get have a cigarette together or something like that?
No, we can go for having a coffee.
So you go for a coffee and with Andy, I mean, does Andy join you sometimes?
Yeah, I can join. If he doesn't, then I can join when he goes
Yeah.
the coffee.
And
Yeah.
say, you know, you have to be extremely subtle because this is not a man asking for your help, okay?
Mm.
So it's not our job to help anybody, but it is our job to protect our space. And you're in a situation where you have a workspace. I don't know, I would do something like that, or, you know, I guarantee you, if your attention was high and your presence was high, you would find the right moment, the right portal of entry.
Mm. Yeah,
You never
that's a
know.
good point. Yeah, I first have to raise my presence
You have to
there.
be way up there, buddy.
Mm.
Way up there, buddy.
Yep.
And then, I mean, it's like he could just say, he could fire you on the spot. That's one. But he might also say, yeah, I know it. You're right. I don't know what to do. And, I've got all these things going on and this and this. And say, hey, when that happens, talk to me. I'm available for you.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
He may or may not want to talk to you, may never talk to you, but the fact that you've said, I'm available for you, what a generous thing, right?
Mm. So
I
he's
might
very
have,
much workaholic. Like, he works day and night. Middle of the night, you will see messages on the Teams. So he's working 24/7 almost. I don't know what time he goes to sleep. So he's not alcoholic, but he's workaholic.
well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. His personality is defined by his ability to work in that way. His entire, I am this, I am a lead programmer in this big company, you know. I might, if I ever make it to Detroit, I might have to come and sit next to you, Swati, and look at this guy, because oh, that would be funny.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody, for all your insights for solving my problem,
But
everyday problem.
and you think about this guy. He's a workaholic. He's desperate to answer the question, who am I? I think that's universal in the world. Who am I? The answer is, I am my job. Does he have a family? I doubt it.
Yeah.
He does?
Yep.
So he has like kids and
No, just newly married. Like newly in the sense, less than a year, I think.
well, she's got to be interesting too to put up with that. But I mean, because he doesn't stop just because he goes home.
David,
Yes,
I
sir.
I was we are having fun in a way, but also we are talking seriously in a way. I was thinking that one angle to Swati and to all of us, because we are all of us uh, in the everyday activity challenged with these kind of things or similar things, but we tend to get annoyed by these guys or whatever. And I was thinking, another angle, and that angle is the opportunity that is apparent each of us to exercise
You're right.
compassion, presence, because if we are present and compassionate, something in the mood will change. Not that we do it to make change to the other guy. We are working with ourselves. So
Great
you know,
point. Great.
EJ stresses many times the usefulness of conflict. No? The usefulness of conflict. So instead of run away from these kind of things, we can use it. No, I think that's at
Absolutely.
least an angle of thinking. Yes.
And so you have a physical and emotional reaction to his fidgeting. And what Bernie is saying is very, very important. And that's the method that Alka's talking about, is having self-observation. Try that for a few days too. You know, what if you become 100% conscious of your reaction to his fidgeting?
I think that would be more useful, right? To
Try it.
call, yeah. I
Try
should
it.
definitely try that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, how to use it for our work, the others, like what we observe in ourselves, plus if we have opportunity to observe in others, and how we can use it for work. So yeah, great insight. Thank you, Bernie and Alka.
Yeah, like I have a really strong reaction to people eating in public spaces, like for instance, like at the store, not kids, but like when adults are like eating their sandwich while they're walking around. Or so I was sitting, I was on a plane, traveling somewhere. It was a long flight. It was back to several hours. And the guy that sat down next to me was like totally fidgeting, and he was eating really sloppy sandwich with his, and he was chewing in a certain way. It was like my worst nightmare, you know. And I didn't react to him or show him my reaction. But after a while, I just asked him, I said, "Oh, well, what do you do? What's your job?" Turns out he was, as usual, most people on the planet, he was a programmer, and he did a particular type of thing. And I asked him a lot of questions about it, and he totally relaxed.
David, may I tell us a story that I was present that is in that line? You know, I was in visiting some, let's say, kind of teacher or guru, but not in the Eastern style, no, Occidental style, and a very important scientist came to visit him, but he came with his little, and the little son, as many children these days, with the cellular phone, they're very unquiet, let's say, and so the guy wasn't. These two, the scientific, weren't able to be comfortable teaching because the little boy was. So this teacher stood up, took the boy by his hand, and went outside for a moment, and talked to him and showed him something in the garden, and for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And he came back. And when he came back, the children was very tranquilized, so they could speak very important things between them. And when this guy went away, the the people of us that were present said to this master, "Oh, you are very compassionate." And he said, "No, no, it's not compassion, it's not kindness. I realized that the kid needed attention, and I gave him attention, at least for 3 or 4 minutes. And once this attention was digested, the boy, at least for a moment, was able to stand still and be more happy. So we were able to speak."
Yeah.
We are always asking for attention, and we don't get sufficient, probably. I find myself when I get to this kind of situation, I tend not to give too much attention to that person, and then I realize that the person is needing to feel alive. And so again, in the angle that we were talking, who can, at least for a moment, be alive there. There is a transmission. At least I don't mean it's a solution, but something happens if you are alive. That is transmitted to the other person.
You may be 100% right. So it may be as simple as actually giving him attention that takes him outside of his brain. Anyway, play around with it. I've got to go, but play around with it, Swati, and see which, it'll be a combination of all of these things. But the story from Bernie is very, very strong. Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
I've got to take off, everybody. Good seeing you. Bye-bye.